Aldridge, and today's video is going to be on my February update. It is actually March the 13th today that I'm doing this recording, and it has been really blustery weather outside, so I've tried to fix my hair, but there is knots everywhere. So to start off with my February update, I thought I would start off with an update. So the end of January I lost my job, so February was a lot of focus was on getting a new job. So I've always dreamed that if I had more time I would work on my writing, but the reality was, when I was fearing that I wasn't going to have any money to pay my bills, like get food, like just basic necessities, it was very hard to focus on my writing. So my full-time job became job hunting. So I was applying for at least 2 to 3 jobs a day. So I'd like search, check online, like what jobs were out there. So I was looking mostly for HR and training and development roles because that's the industry I like working in. And I also was investigating companies that I really have always wanted to work for and approaching them to see if they had anything. I also need to work part-time to fit around my other commitments with my children, which also usually steals my time for writing. So these were the things that was mostly taking my time. Some of my applications were successful in February, so I was able to go and attend job interviews. So it was a really busy month. I also did other things, like I took advantage of going to a job fair where I went and met lots of employers all in one place. One of the people who had a stand there was the careers advice centre, and because I was unemployed they offered me to do a free course. So one of my early interviews was for a training and development advisor role, and they told me that the other applicant had more, because I asked for feedback when I didn't get the job because I really liked the sound of the job. They said the other applicant had more project and management knowledge, so I did a course on project management. Which was kind of interesting because when I'm learning it, because like the main project that I'm always working on is publishing my novels, I related quite a lot of the information to the cycle of publishing a novel. So maybe I'll do a video one day like putting the principles of project management into publishing a novel and how you can use them to help yourself if you are self-publishing. But at the moment I'm not ready to do videos like that, but that is like one of those things that one day I will do, like how to or help videos with people as I get more confident at making videos on YouTube, which I'm still working on. And I wanted to record this video sooner, but at the end of February, I came down, was it the start of March? Yeah, at the start of March, I came down with a cold, and then that made it very difficult for me to, I really wasn't pretty psyched to get in front of a camera. And I mean, you can still hear it a little bit raspy in my voice because I've still got a little bit of a sore throat. But yeah, I'm good really. I mean, there's a lot worse things that could happen, but I just didn't feel like getting on a camera, and I do feel like it's really important to look after yourself and do self-care all the time. So that was the job hunting in February. It like became my full-time job, but I didn't want Skyheart to fall off the bandwagon and to just not exist at all. So one of the things I did do with Skyheart was I reached out to my book cover designer. I kind of did this right at the very end of January, so I do speak about this in my previous video because I reached out to her and said, can I book you in? And we booked it in, and we agreed when she was going to start work, and I had to pay the money. And literally, like, we agreed it on the Monday, and the Wednesday I lost my job. So I was like, oh, do I like, you know, backpedal, go back? But I hate messing around with small businesses because it's a big deal. So I did still pay them because I thought I've already allocated that money. If I had known this like a few days ago, I still would have done the payment, still would have gone ahead. So I did pay my cover designer, and then this was something that like cheered me up during February, because job hunting can be really stressful. It can be quite demotivating because quite often you're being asked the same information over and over again, but somebody wants it in their form or into their website or put in this format, and you have to do the same thing over and over again, which is quite time consuming. You never know if it's even going to pay off, if it's going to even amount to something. So it's quite hard job hunting. But cover designing is always really exciting. It still causes me stress because it's always such a big deal getting a cover, But I worked with my cover designer. She sent over like the initial design, like the first design she had. I then had a chance to have a look at it, see if does anything need to change, am I happy with it, any changes. So I did have a look through it. It was hard because my first initial reaction is almost like, oh, my cover, I love it, I love it, I love it, I'm so happy. And then I have to remember that this is going to be the cover that I'm going to have to market for a long time. So then I have to put on my critical glasses and I have to really think about like just pick holes in my own cover, which is really hard. So I did go through it. I then had to try and put my feedback into an email so it made sense to my cover design, like things I like, so she doesn't go change things I like, and things that I felt maybe needed to tweak or change. So like little things like I wanted there to be some more sparkles on the letters because they are on Ocean Heart. I'll show you on here what I'm talking about. So on my Ocean Heart cover you can see there's like a little sparkle on the O, but she'd already thought about these things, so the draft that was going to be in the final anyway, but there were just little things like that I brought up and she was already thinking of the same things. I love Ocean Heart's cover, and obviously being in the same series I want them kind of to like go like look nice next to each other, even though the main character is a different person, which kind of like changes the cover a little bit because obviously it's a different hair color and things like that going on there. So yeah, so I'm really pleased with it. I'm looking forward to being able to show you, but I don't want to do a cover reveal if Sky Heart isn't going to be released soon. So I want a date for Sky Heart to be released, so then I can market the two things together, like here's the cover reveal, go add it to your Goodreads, you can now pre-order. I want all that stuff to like be happening quickly together. I don't want there to be like a big long wait between cover reveal and then finally the book actually being available to buy. So that's the delay on me showing it off, is I am still working on finishing up Sky Heart. But due to job hunting, Sky Heart did take a back seat because I'd go to sit down to do some work on my writing and I would get distracted because I would feel like I needed to get back on LinkedIn, Indeed, read, go check in with my recruiters and just see like what was out there, make sure I wasn't missing anything, replying to emails, booking myself in for interviews, preparing for interviews. Oh, and top tip, if you are going for interviews, I had an interview at Macmillan. Their interview process, I really loved it. They actually send you the questions before you go to the interview, which for me, that really helps me feel like more prepared. I feel less stressed because I feel like I can actually prepare for what they want me to bring to the interview. And another top tip that they sent in there, because they prepare you as the candidate, which I think is really good because they really are getting the best out of the people coming to the interviews. They tell you there's this technique called the STAR method. You can find that also on the careers advice website. And the STAR method, was on the government's website, but anyway, it's called the STAR interview method. And you basically, when you answer a question, you describe the situation, the task that you did, the action you took, and what the results were. And then this gives like a nice rounded answer to the questions. And I really found this technique was really useful. I actually used it afterwards in some of my application forms when I've got to give examples of how I meet their criteria. So I really think that that's a good method if you are ever looking to apply for jobs or go to interviews. Check out the STAR method. It really did help me. And I've gone off track now, haven't I? Yes. Where was I up to? Job hunting, Sky Heart's cover, not editing. Yeah, I finished the read through and then I started on editing, like actually on my laptop. And I only managed to do 4 chapters. So at the end of February, actually it's the start of March, I do get job offer. I do get 2 job offers. And once I accepted a job offer, I then was able to relax and focus on my writing. And my goal in March is to finish editing Sky Heart so I can get to the next stage, and hopefully then I will feel more confident in setting a date for the release and I can do the cover reveal and everything else can all go together. I think Grace is trying to photobomb as usual. Yes, she is. She's sneaking around the back of my chair. So if you see a little thing, that's not my tail, that's my Gracie's tail. I also forgot another thing. So when I was told at the end of January my job was at risk, I then went into consultation. So it was like a week later, something like the 7th of March was the first consultation, and then like it's 1st of 1st of February was the first consultation, and the 8th of February was the second consultation. So it felt like it went really quick. But in that time, because my job was at risk, I was able to say to my employers, I'm going on a job interview, and they were like, they're supporting me, helping me practice, or giving me, like, just wishing me luck really, and being really nice. And I was allowed to leave work to go to job interviews. So it's a bit different to when you're in a job and looking for a new job. So you're able to do that. So that was really good. So I was working right up until my final consultation, where we agreed that there was no other alternative, that my role was being made redundant. But one of the things I did when I knew my job was at risk was I checked all, like, my finances, like what could I cut to save money, because I didn't know, like I was, like, obviously worried about income. So what could I cut for money? What benefits was I going to lose from my job? So one of them was I was going to lose my health benefit, which I never knew I wanted until I got it as a benefit. So I went and booked in and got my eyes tested so I could get it. And it turns out that I do need glasses, so it's just what I did. So I made sure I used my benefits. So I got these glasses. Ta-da! I got these because Specsavers had buy one get one free, and they both were covered by the amount that my company would cover for my glasses. So before I left, I made sure I got my glasses, because I thought, what if my next company doesn't have this health benefit, and then I'm out of pocket, and I mean I'm entitled to it. So I went and used it. So I got my eyes tested, done that. I'd already done I was planning to do it later in the year, so it wasn't like something I didn't need to do. I was going to book it in like the next few months, but I sort of just pulled it forward, and the end of last year I'd already used it for dental, so it was really good. So yeah, so I made use of that. So I've got 2 pairs of glasses, which turns out that apparently I need, which I didn't need before, but I do need glasses now, so that was really good. So I've now got glasses. Hang on, I put my notes on here of the things I need to cover. So there was some exciting news, I'm sure. Right, so I recently did a book review. It should have uploaded to YouTube, on a book by Roxy Eloise called The Guidor Discovering Percodius. And the author of that review sent me a message on Instagram to tell me that Hertz Book Festival were looking for authors to attend, and she'd done the Hertz Book Festival the year before, so she had like quite a lot of insider information to let us know like what to expect, because it's quite scary when you're doing things on your own and you're not sure what to expect and what to plan and things like that. So she shared like tips like what happened, what the experience was like for her, so that we could make our own choices. And I ended up applying, and Hertz Book Festival accepted me. Yes, so I am going to be at Hertz Book Festival. I will put the leaflet up over there because I don't want to get the date wrong. It's in May. I'm going to say it's Saturday the 13th of May, but check the leaflet over there just in case I've just quoted that wrong. So we'll put that into the video. So I'm going to be there. I'm going to have a stand. You can come buy my books. They will be signed. See, these are the things I'm now doing as I'm trying to prepare for the book festival, because I don't have any equipment for a stand. So I've got to go and buy equipment for my stand and books so that I have books to sell on the day. And I need a method to take payment. So these are all things that I'm currently looking into, trying to get prepared so that I can have fun and make it a success. I've also booked a hotel there because Hertz is quite a long drive for me, so I really hope that it does pay off going there. I hope that people will come, have a good time, say hello, and come check out Ocean Heart. And I would love it if Sky Heart was ready by May, but that is like pushing it a little bit, so we'll just have to see. And there may be another book festival that's happening later in the year, but that will be in my March update video because it happened in March. So you can if you want, take a guess in the comments where you think the other book festival will be that I will be popping up at this year. But Hertz is a definite, and I will be there in May, and I hope to see you there. Oh, and that was the other thing that happened. So when I had my free time, other things that I thought I would do in my free time, because I don't have a job, I thought, right, I will try and get on top of some of the jobs in my house. So we were getting quotes for, we had a leak, it came from the kitchen, came up in the dining room. So I had the guys come out. It was really hard to get them out in January. They were like really busy, like from Christmas, they'd all like been slowed down. So January there was there was delays that came out. So I got the quotes for the kitchen cupboard, the floor, and another guy came out and he did the quote for the painting that the insurance company said that they would pay for. So I got this information. We'd also like stacked up some like rubbish in the dining room because it wasn't being used because there's no floor, it's got a leak. And so we just like at Christmas we'd like put some rubbish there. So I was like, right, time to take that all to the dump. I mean, it is like February now and it hasn't got moved. It's like, that's embarrassing. So I stacked up the car, took it all down to the dump. But when I moved the boxes, I discovered that the leak is back. So I had to ring the insurance company who had just sent out the checks. Everything had just been confirmed and agreed. I've got to say, Churchill have been really, really good dealing with this leak. So I called them up, tell them what's going on. They are sending out a like the big, huge, oh, what was the machine called? It's like a humidifier machine. It's like a massive machine. We had them like the end of last year to dry up the initial leak, and it was like this just noise, like it was so loud, like it sounded like we were in an airport. So yeah, so I just realised I put the washing machine on before I started this video, so that was not smart planning, but never mind. Let's hope you can still hear me clearly. So I moved the boxes. The leak is back, so I told Churchill. They arranged for the guy to come back out. There's a delay because they're like really busy, booked up. So they're going to be here later in March to come and set up their machines to hopefully dry up their leak that's back. Hopefully it's just like excess from the previous leak, so it's just like taking its time to seep through because you can't really see where the water's coming from, but we know that makes sense, like how it's gone down the back of the kitchen cupboard because that's where the leak started and then gone onto the floor and then come up into the dining room. So yeah, so we're gonna have the noisy machines back in March, and hopefully once that's all dried up we can finally get the guys in to actually put the floor in and fix the kitchen, and then there won't be mess everywhere because at the moment everything has been like crammed into spaces because we can't, because the dining room had to be cleared because of all the damp and the mess. But this is where I usually sit to do my writing, so I am sitting on in a room with a concrete floor. But it would be nice if the room was nice and sorted and fixed, and no damp would be really nice. So yeah, so that is what's been going on in February, and yeah, and I'm looking forward to March. I feel like March is going to be full of some new beginnings. I've set myself some really like big goals, like finish the developmental edit on Sky Heart so we can get to the next stage. Hopefully try and set a release date. That would be so incredibly cool. What my goal is, I would love for Sky Heart to be ready for pre-order for the Hertz Book Festival and ready to release for the next book festival, which I will be telling you about in my March update video. Oh, other things that happened. So when I lost my job, my husband, he does shifts, so when he had his next free day, we went into Ipswich town and we went to go get some lunch. We went to JC's, get some lunch, like cheer me up, like, you know, like make the most of this time that you have. And one of the things we did was we popped into Darlene Bookshop. So back like probably this time last year, so like took it almost a whole year ago, I went to Darlene Books. I went to Waterstones actually, and Waterstones said that there was like, obviously with the pandemic and everything, they weren't doing like orphans, but they were doing a big stall, and they just need to get the details confirmed with their booksellers. So I was in contact with the girl at Waterstones, and she was doing it. She also said, why don't you go check out Darlene Books in Ipswich? They really, really support independent authors. So I was like, okay. So I went in there, I was a bit shy. I mean, I already got dealt with my anxiety approaching Waterstones, but I'd done it. So I went into Darlene. The guy there, Andrew, he is so nice. If you are local to Ipswich, you should definitely go check out his bookshop. He's such a nice person. Anyway, he was like, yep, sure, I will buy you a book. I'll buy it at the retail value. And all this. I was just like, okay, when I went to my husband, no, I must have had that wrong. I will do the invoice for 32% because that's what I normally do. I don't want to rip him off because he's being so kind. He's going to stock my book. He'd like offered to buy 4 copies to sell. So I was like really excited. And then everything just went a bit crazy, like with the kids. My daughter went to 2 nurseries at the time, so I was like having 2 sports days and 2 end of nursery celebrations, and my son also had his own sports day and his own end of school celebrations at school, so there's a lot going on. And it all just, I don't know where the time went, and I just didn't go there. And I was like, I had to get rid of some holidays where I always had the kids with me, and I honestly, my kids are full of energy. I did not want to take them in the bookshop like when I'm trying to be a professional author. So I was like, no, I'll wait until the kids start school in September. Now, if you follow my blog or anything, you know that didn't happen either, because like my daughter didn't even start school in September because she decided to get a sick bug before she'd even started school. So there was all this going on with like shuffling with that, and then it like just got put off, and I always had things to do on my days off, so it ended up that I just didn't go. And then it got to this point where I felt embarrassed. Like I was like, I can't go there because it's been so long now. He'd be like, I don't even know who you are. And so I just felt like I'd have to start the whole request right from the word go, and I've just felt really annoyed at myself. But as I was out of work, what else can I do? So I went in there, plucked up the courage, spoke to the guy, spoke to Andrew. And at first he didn't remember it, and then he was like, oh yes, I remember you with the mermaid book. And I was like, yes. And he was like, yep. And I had the books with me, and I said like, I'd done the invoice, and he was like, no, I don't do that. I can't, my account told me I'm not allowed to buy them at retail value. I was like, oh, it's okay, I've done mine with a 33% cut, and I've done it on the old prices because the books went up in price in October, and I didn't feel like I should really charge him the increased cost when I bought these books at the reduced price. And he was like, no, do it at the retail price that you want me to sell at now, the proper price. And he goes, and I take 20%, so you need to go redo the invoice. So he paid me there and then took the books. Oh, he was just so nice. And then I came home, redid the invoice for him, sent it off. And yeah, so that like cheered me up. That was one of the highlights of being out of work, was the fact that I actually went and sold my book to the bookshop. So I was really proud of myself. I also did approach Waterstones again, because the girl who was dealing with it, we'd been like messaging on Instagram. She then transferred to another bookshop, and then she said, oh, just introduce yourself to the new bookseller at Ipswich Waterstones. So I went in there, and like it put me off because I was like, oh no, we really are starting all over again. Like I don't even know who this person is, but I went in there, and it's like they don't do it like that anymore. And now you have to go and do an application through Waterstones HQ. So I went on to the gardener's website. I've looked at the form. It is not straightforward. I'm on their system, the Nielsen system, the gardener system, and now I need to do an application to get it into Waterstones. So this is something that's on my back burner. I will get to it at some point, but yeah, it wasn't a friendly form. And after doing all these application forms, I'm kind of all formed out. Do you know what I mean? So I will get there. Maybe when I do it, I'll probably do a video to like help other people out, because I think there's a lot of authors that would love to be in these shops, but it's just not. It's not straightforward. Not when you're just this little person. Like I'm an independent person, independent books, and I have to do everything myself. So I will figure it out. I will get in there. I'm determined, and yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, you can order my books on their website because I am on there, but to get it actually in the stores, you have to do this form that I found on the gardener's website. So I will do that at some point and hopefully get in there. But you never know. Maybe in the meantime, they will make the process easier for independent authors to help welcome them into their stores. That would be really nice. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else in February that I haven't told you about. Just logging onto my onto here. Oh, there was so at the end in January, there was the post about the scammers, and an author called Ari on Ko-fi, because I'm on Ko-fi, that's where I posted it, offered to me to do a blog post for her blog about the scam, but I haven't got around to writing it. I've just been so busy with the whole job hunting and stuff, but it is on my to-do list, so hopefully I will get to it. The thing that's delaying it is that I need to go back and find the screenshots of the incident so that I can use them as images for the post, and also to prompt my memory about what happened. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that, because I always think it's a really nice opportunity when you get to be on other people's blogs or websites and things like that. Yeah, so that's another thing that I am looking forward to doing. So I think that is February in a nutshell. Yeah, hopefully when I get my new job, I'm not going to be too exhausted as I settle in and learn all the new things that's going to come with a new job, and hopefully I can continue hitting my goals with Sky Heart so that I can bring it out to you pretty soon. Thank you so much for sticking out for this whole video and of my February update. If you've enjoyed it and you want to keep up to date, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Also check out my other social media so that you can stay in touch, and look forward to seeing you on my next update, which will be March.